What the hell am I doing this for? Act like done with past life, then past life, dust a flashlight, smoke a black night. We should dead right, but I ain't nothing for.
That was Come Over, and from now on, we're gonna sing this all together. Zip it. Let's go, smooth like butter. Go pop like trouble. Bring it down hot like that. Go check.
The second night of the fictional Arirang World Tour in Munich arrived with even greater excitement than the opening show. Hours before the stadium gates opened, thousands of fans had already gathered outside, filling the streets with purple banners, lightsticks, and songs that echoed throughout the city. People had traveled from every corner of Europe and far beyond to experience another unforgettable evening with BTS. No one knew that the biggest surprise of the night would have nothing to do with a new song, a special guest, or an elaborate stage effect. Instead, it would be a simple football. As the stadium lights dimmed and the opening performances concluded, the atmosphere was already electric. Every seat was filled, and the sea of glowing purple lightsticks stretched from the front row to the highest level of the venue. After finishing a high-energy performance, the members gathered at the center of the stage, smiling as they caught their breath. Jungkook looked toward the audience with a playful grin before exchanging a quick glance with RM. "Should we show them our surprise?" he asked. The crowd immediately erupted into cheers. No one knew what he meant. A few seconds later, several stage crew members rolled out two small football goals and placed them on opposite sides of the extended stage. Moments afterward, a basket filled with footballs appeared under the bright stage lights. The audience gasped. Laughter and excitement spread through the stadium as fans realized something unexpected was about to happen. Jin picked up one of the footballs and jokingly spun it on his finger before it quickly fell to the stage, making everyone laugh. "I think I'll leave the tricks to Jungkook," he joked. The crowd roared with laughter. Jungkook stepped forward and casually bounced a football on his foot several times before flicking it onto his shoulder with a smooth motion. The audience cheered even louder as he smiled and waved. "This isn't a competition," he laughed. "We're just here to have fun together." The members divided themselves into two playful teams. RM, Jin, and J-Hope stood on one side, while Jungkook, Jimin, V, and Suga formed the other. A giant countdown appeared on the LED screens, turning the surprise into a friendly challenge. The first game was simple: pass the ball to each teammate without letting it touch the stage. When the countdown reached 0, the stadium exploded with excitement. Jungkook gently passed the ball to Jimin, who tapped it toward V with a smile. V attempted a stylish backheel pass that surprised everyone, including his teammates. Suga laughed as he managed to keep the ball in play before sending it back to Jungkook. On the opposite side, RM carefully controlled the ball before passing it to J-Hope, whose energetic footwork earned huge applause from the crowd. Jin attempted a dramatic volley but accidentally kicked the ball much higher than expected, causing everyone, including the members themselves, to burst into laughter. The challenge quickly became less about winning and more about enjoying the moment. Every successful pass earned cheers. Every funny mistake earned even louder laughter. The atmosphere inside Munich Stadium transformed into a celebration of music, friendship, and pure joy. After several minutes of playful football, Jungkook pointed toward one of the mini goals. I think it's time for a penalty challenge. The audience answered with thunderous applause. Each member took turns attempting a shot. RM's effort narrowly missed the post. Jimin's shot rolled gently into the corner of the goal, sending fans into celebration. V celebrated his goal with an exaggerated victory dance that had the entire stadium laughing. Jin jokingly asked for one more chance, pretending the first attempt didn't count. Even Suga, usually calm and reserved, smiled broadly after scoring a neat finish into the net. Finally, only Jungkook remained. He carefully placed the ball on the stage floor and stepped backward. The stadium became completely silent. Thousands of fans watched in anticipation. Jungkook took a short run up and struck the ball cleanly. The football flew through the air in a perfect arc before striking the crossbar and bouncing into the goal. For a split second, the crowd stood frozen. Then the stadium erupted. Purple light sticks waved wildly as cheers echoed through every corner of the venue. The members rushed toward Jungkook, laughing and celebrating the playful goal as though they had just won a championship. Jungkook bowed toward the audience before pointing at the fans. "This goal is for all of you." The crowd responded with another deafening roar. To make the surprise even more memorable, the members signed several special purple footballs with silver markers. One by one, they gently tossed the signed balls toward different sections of the audience, allowing lucky fans to take home a unique souvenir from the fictional concert. Each catch was greeted with applause from thousands of ARMY, who celebrated together regardless of who received the gift. As the football challenge came to an end, the members gathered at center stage. Jungkook looked across the sea of purple lights and smiled. "Munich, thank you for making tonight so special." The audience answered with a heartfelt chorus of cheers and applause. The football goals were quietly removed from the stage as the band prepared for the next performance. Before the music began, every BTS member formed a large heart with their hands toward the audience. Instantly, tens of thousands of fans returned the gesture. For one beautiful moment, the entire stadium became a sea of glowing purple hearts. The music began once again, and the concert continued with even greater energy than before. The cheers continued long after the final football rolled into the mini-goal. Instead of immediately moving on to the next song, the members stood together at center stage, laughing as they replayed the funniest moments from the surprise challenge. Jin pointed toward Jungkook with an exaggerated look of disbelief. "I think he's been secretly training for this," he joked. The audience burst into laughter. Jungkook quickly shook his head. "No way. I just got lucky." His humble response only made the fans cheer even louder. Meanwhile, Jimin walked over to one of the footballs still resting near the edge of the stage. He gently kicked it toward V, who trapped it with surprising control before sending it back with a playful smile. The audience applauded every simple touch. What made the moment so memorable in this fictional story wasn't the football itself, it was seeing the 7 members enjoying themselves without any pressure, simply sharing laughter with tens of thousands of fans. RM looked around the enormous stadium before speaking into his microphone. "Munich." A deafening roar echoed through the venue. "You've given us so much energy tonight." Thousands of purple light sticks began waving from side to side. The members stood quietly for a moment, taking in the breathtaking view. Even the production crew paused to admire the sea of purple stretching across every section of the stadium. Then J-Hope suddenly clapped his hands. "I have one more idea." The audience instantly grew louder. Several staff members quickly rolled out small cones, placing them across the extended stage. The members exchanged amused looks. Jungkook laughed. An obstacle course? J-Hope nodded enthusiastically. The challenge was simple. Each member had to dribble a football around the cones before shooting into the mini-goal. Fastest time wins. The audience loved the idea. A giant timer appeared on the LED screens. RM volunteered to go first. He carefully dribbled around each cone, concentrating so hard that the other members couldn't stop laughing. When he finally scored, he threw both arms into the air as if celebrating a championship-winning goal. The crowd erupted with applause. Next came Suga. He moved calmly and smoothly through the course before gently placing the ball into the net. Jin immediately applauded dramatically. A professional. Everyone laughed. Jimin's turn brought even more excitement. He danced around one of the cones before kicking the ball into the goal and celebrating with an energetic spin that had the audience cheering even louder. V followed with his own playful style, pretending to commentate on himself while dribbling. The members laughed so hard they could barely stand. Finally, Jungkook stepped forward. The stadium became noticeably quieter. He smiled at the audience before beginning the course. His movements were relaxed and controlled. The football stayed close to his feet as he moved around each cone. At the final marker, he gently chipped the ball into the mini-goal. The audience exploded into thunderous applause. Rather than celebrating alone, Jungkook immediately invited the other members back to the center of the stage. "This wasn't my challenge," he said with a smile. "It was ours." The members stood shoulder to shoulder as the crowd applauded. The atmosphere inside the stadium felt warm and joyful. As a final surprise, several footballs decorated in purple were brought onto the stage. Each member signed them with silver markers. One by one, they carefully tossed the signed footballs into different sections of the audience. Every lucky fan who caught one was greeted with cheers from everyone nearby. The members smiled as they watched fans celebrate together. Jungkook looked across the stadium once more. "I hope tonight gives you a memory you'll always keep." The crowd answered with an overwhelming chorus of applause and cheers. The football goals were slowly removed from the stage while the band prepared for the next musical performance. Purple lights swept across the stadium as the opening notes of the next song echoed through the speakers. Before taking their places, the 7 members gathered together at center stage. They bowed deeply toward the audience. Thousands of fans bowed back from their seats. For a few quiet seconds, the stadium was filled not with loud music, but with appreciation between artists and fans. Then the lights brightened once again. The opening beat of the next performance shook the stadium. The audience jumped to their feet, singing along from the very first note. Although the football challenge had ended, its joyful spirit remained throughout the evening. Within this fictional story, fans would later remember the second night in Munich not only for the music, but for the unexpected game that brought smiles, laughter, and a sense of togetherness to everyone inside the stadium.